Harp players, ethnic bands singing in different languages, arts performances, opera singers, and more dot the street corners every Monday in February at the Shaon Horef Festival in Jerusalem, sponsored by the Jerusalem municipality. You'll be hearing from musicians, clowns, and other performers as we take you behind the scenes. We meet first with Einat Gomel, head of the Events Department for Young Adults at the Arts and Culture Division of the Jerusalem municipality.
The festival is going on about 8 years, and I've been doing this job for about 4 years, but actually it's been kind of revolution to have events in Jerusalem during the winter on Mondays, which is like the hardest day for business, for art, for hanging out, because no one is leaving his couch and his radiator. So we decided to do it while it's hard. Despite of all the challenges, it's our job to do it proper, to have all those investments in art and in culture and in the street.
And I'm impressed that you give a chance to young local musicians. For example, this harp player behind us, is that part of the ideology?
Yeah, definitely. It's part of our concept of giving chance to all those graduates of all the art schools in Jerusalem. We have Sam Spiegel and Bezalel and Ma'ale, and everything is happening here. So we need to expose all these great ideas and great art and great concepts of what will make the city interesting.
Tell us about both 4 years ago when you first started and also 8 years ago. Has it grown? Is it different? Is it better?
Actually, 9 years ago, we decided, a couple of friends, that Jerusalem needs to have a winter festival. So we gathered together and we did everything voluntarily, and we did all those connections with the businesses and with the bars and nightlifes in Jerusalem. And we had the first winter festival in Jerusalem. It was called Defrost. And actually, a year later, the municipality took over and gave some kind of budget and gave this idea the background that it needed. And here we are, 9 years later, and it's the 8th Shaon Horef happening here in Jerusalem, and it's very exciting, actually.
And so what is your background? So you're like a co-creator and founder of this event? Where are you from?
I did all kinds of events and festivals in Jerusalem, and Shaon Horef is kind of my baby, because it's not like the obvious summer festivals happening in Jerusalem, which is amazing, but it's easy. Shaon Horef, it is hard to bring people to leave their homes and go out to the city, but they do it. They react and they cooperate with this crazy idea, and it's amazing. Look at how many people are here and consuming culture. It's really nice. It's really fun.
And where are you from? Are you also an art school graduate, or what's your background?
Yeah, I'm an art school graduate, but I didn't learn in Jerusalem. I came here about 12 years ago, something like that, and I fell in love. I'm one of those who stayed in Jerusalem and tried to make it a better place for me and for everyone else. It's such a special place because you see all kinds of cultures and people, and everything is different from you, and it's great. It's just wonderful to see how those people meet together and create something new.
The crisp air is lively, with young people walking to the multiple locations where performers are stationed.
Holy brothers, we the villainous damn. Hey, Shatora. Yeah, we keep it kosher. Yeah, we learn the Torah. Yeah, we learn the Torah.
A hip-hop performer with a kippah and tzitzit raps about his yeshiva, while on the next sidewalk in a window of an art studio, mimes perform. Standing at the corner of Ben Sira and Shomzion Hamalka, art students project colorful designs on the wall. In front of the historic home of Zionist leader Zev Jabotinsky, people play backgammon to the beat of Mediterranean music. Across the street at Goran Piano, the oldest music instrument shop in the city, a young opera singer performs, drawing a small crowd on the sidewalk. Walking past the corner of the usually quiet Yanai and Koresh streets, passers-by could find the window of an antique shop transformed into a giant message board.
So I'm Itai, I'm from Jerusalem, and we are Panim Ensemble. This is Atalia.
Hello, I'm Atalia, I'm from Tel Aviv, and we create a game on wall. It's part of a whole show. It's a game that it's also a show and a game in one piece. And this is only apart from it. It's called Game on Wall, and there is a glass wall, and we share on it our thought, our fears, our hopes, everything.
Yeah, it's a performance and a game that explores the social media and the sharing experience in a collective and individually, and what it means to be anonymous within a crowd or to get exposed with your name on it.
Okay, so random people walking down the street just come up and they're on the screen and they sign as if they're signing on Facebook, but they're actually writing so anyone walking can see. And what's that like?
So we kind of are forced to think how different is it from Facebook, let's say. As you just said, they write it and it's exposed to everyone who walks by. But it's this kind of the same thing in Facebook. I write it and it's there with my face, exposed to anyone normally, unless you are very pedantic with your privacy settings. It's exposed to everyone and every person who might stumble upon your post, your reply, and could see whatever you said whenever you said it, and it's just there. And we explore that thing a little bit at the end of that as well, the fact that you can't really erase, the fact that even in Facebook, even if you do delete a post or a reply, it is saved in some database far across the sea, just with a flag that says don't show it to anyone, but it's still part of the database. It's still part of what Facebook as a system knows about you.
And what have you learned about this? What have the participants been saying?
Were many kinds of comments, but I think everyone is really excited from the sharing, from the emotional sharing. Some people don't really like to be part of the game. They're like, I don't want to share. So it's also a question when it's real, like here on the street, and you have to really write. You can see your face. How do you feel? How you move. It's kind of difficult, but when it's in front of the screen, it's a little bit easier.
It is masked. The experience, we are trying to unmask the experience that we all kind of numb already when it's in front of a screen. We just write and we don't care. And when it's here, you are kind of forced to examine it and to question yourself whether it makes sense to write it in front of all these people.
And where are you guys from? Are you students? Tell me more about your collective.
We are professional actors, dancers,
who collaborate together to make something that hopefully will touch and engage audience and make them experience something and question something and think and feel and be a part. That's what we strive for. That's our ensemble. That's what we're here for.
winding past a jazz band and a klezmer group were two circus performers silently acting out a story in sync to music and sound effects. It ended with a somersault off a ladder to the applause of the awed audience.
My name is Kazuya Shaon Horef from Japan, but living in Israel 8 years now.
Okay.
And my name is Dror Lieberman. I born and raised in Beersheba, Israel, and recently living in Tel Aviv.
Okay. And what do you call this act that you've created?
We have like a small dance company named Takedown Productions, and this specific act is named Traffic Life. In Hebrew will be Lo Otzrim Be'adom, not stopping in red light. But whatever you turn it, it's like a takeoff on the... I mean, a long time ago we used to be the performers on the crossroads. Probably you saw some. I don't know how popular it's in Jerusalem, but in Tel Aviv it's quite popular. And as you cannot see because it's verbal, but if you could see, you would see a crossroad and a traffic light that we brought to here. And we have a whole clown act based on two people kicked from any kind of theater or festival or whatever, and even from the traffic light, from performing in the traffic light, they were kicked out. So they decide to make own traffic light. That's the only way we can perform, let's call it that way. And there is a whole like half an hour clownish small drama about what's happened between the two performers, between this small team, and would they make it or not, yeah, to grab some coins from the audience and to maybe grab some smiles. That's even more important. That's the act that you see the end of it, which is very spectacular because there is a salto, a front flip from the ladder. That's and there was bubbles, maybe you saw also, but...
And what do you think of the Shaon Horef Festival in Jerusalem? How has the crowd reacted this evening?
Each time it's a really different place and a really different reaction. And this time a bit hard because usually many children coming also and then watching, so more like other way to... It was hard a bit for us.
But I want to say it was a great honor to participate in this festival. Of course, it's a little bit different circumstances. That's what we usually perform, and we will perform just naturally on more early, yeah, like in a square, like in Zion Square or somewhere, and we will open our own circle and whoever want to see. And here it was a little bit crowded and a little bit late. But yet again...
it was good for us, like challenging to the also adult, how making the like funny for them. It's much more hard for us.
Yeah, you need to be a tougher clown to work with adults, but we are...
but feel quite welcome.
Definitely can say we develop as clowns as we... Thanks to Shaon Horef.
And what do you think about Israel versus Japan and the performances and the audiences and everything?
Like, actually, many good things and bad things. Like, how to say, Japanese people really not react.
Okay.
The audience. So it's a bit hard when the performance. Here is more people react, but it's also aggressive react. So it's like both way, both like really feel like hard, but it's any kind of audience, it really give to me the great experience. So how to deal with it. Even here also in Tel Aviv, much more like try to be polite or something, and the other outside cities more like feel
the periphery of Israel. It
monster, but it's performer should deal with it.
No, in the holy city always have like a special atmosphere, and it's nice. And anytime coming perform here with different acts sometimes. Yeah, just really happy to perform in the holy city of the Holy Land.
We return now to Einat Gomel, standing on a downtown side street as two musicians played the harp and the hang instrument nearby. Dancers dressed in black and draped in tiny lights performed to the music as onlookers took photos. Now, I'm also interested in the concept that every Monday in the month of February, it's in a different location. So tell us why you did that and what the different locations are like. Like, is it easier or harder in a different area?
We have actually, we have 4 events in a month. So 2 of them are in the city center, which is more nightlife oriented. So it's more natural to do things with the bars and with the restaurants and stuff like that. But we also have 2 more events that are very special. One is at the Old City of Jerusalem, Jaffa Gate. So we cooperate with all the restaurants and the hostels, and also with the Migdal David, with the Tower of David. So it's very unique. It creates something different. And the 4th is in Talpiot, which is industrial area, and we go to the very famous Oman Street. So we have totally different events there. We do things at the garage and at the Mifgash HaSheikh. We create the events in order to fit them to the special place where it's taking place.
Speaking of special places, I'm impressed that it kind of fits into the neighborhood, because once I went to a festival in Jerusalem and it was in more of a residential neighborhood, and neighbors just complained and it just didn't seem to be a good fit.
Actually, I can tell you that NIMBY is very common, not in my backyard. Attitude is very common in events, but
Even downtown?
Even downtown, maybe people are more used to it here, but this is one of the reasons that we move location every week. So we do not exaggerate with the people tolerance to us.
I went last year to the event in Talpiot, and you're right, there's a lot of auto shops and garages and industrial areas, furniture warehouses. And then one Monday, suddenly I hear music and see bright lights. That neighborhood does not get that on a Monday night at nights.
Yeah, we love this connection, this very lively night happening in the middle of the week, in the middle of the winter week. And actually, the garages owners are very cooperative, and people, they love to do it. They love this break of the shigra routine.
And this generates revenue for for shopkeepers and restaurants?
Definitely. On a regular Monday night, usually places work on 1, 2, 3 people, and now they have thousands. So they love it a lot.
Einat, thank you very much for being on with us. Do you have any final words about the Shaon Horef Festival or Jerusalem or anything like that?
Sure. If you want to see Jerusalem at its best, come to Shaon Horef every Monday evening. And we have on our website the program in English and in Hebrew. Join us.
This has been Benjamin Bresky for the Jerusalem Post. For more information, visit jpost.com.